I want to summarize the highest common factor and lowest common multiple. One of the earliest, I think, the introduction to the complexity of mathematics to those who are doing their primary level is the introduction of the times table. So the idea of the times table is like this. It's 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Then panapa it's also 1, 2, 3 up to 10. So what we are doing is we are taking 1 in a to multiply ne 1 ish, the product to inyora pano. Kana kuri kuti we are going to do that in progression until we even get to this. 3 times 3, we write the product here. So panapa the product will be 1. Then panapa the product will be 9. And it. Saka, before we look at lowest common multiple, we have to understand kuti chi chinombonzi multiple chacho. And kuti to understand chinonzi multiple, if we give an example of multiples of, let me say multiples of 5. We denote multiples of 5 in mathematics simply as m subscript 5. Saka m5 is not multiples of 5. Multiples of 5 simply means tiri kutora 5, we multiply by 1, then we put down the product. We do the same and the same until tasfika patrikuda. That is why my multiples are 5, RG, 5, 10, 15, 20, and so forth. Saka we are taking this 5, then in progress to multiply na 1, na 2, na 3, na 4, kusfikira kwa trikuda. That is what multiples mean. Saka my multiples, we are just going at 5, then we take everything we have under 5 per times table. And you're getting it. Okay. So what then happens is, kana takuchida kuchiwana, kana utitakuda uchitaura about the lowest common multiple. Tirikuti we are comparing sets of multiples. And taking the lowest number. And taking the lowest common number. The lowest common number. This makes sense kana tikasvitaura in line of an example. Let us say we want the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5. In practice, what we are doing is this. Tirikutora ma multiples are 3. And then we list them. 3 times 1 is 3. Kana mchiziwa ma times are 3. You can simply write 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, and so forth. Saka madotsa yari 3 anoreva kuti and so forth kana tiri kuset notation. Then totora futi ma multiples are 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so forth. Mupaona. Then totanga kuchikombea these numbers. Tiri kutsvaga the lowest number in both sets inotanga kuapia. Sapano tina 3 kuno kwatina, 6 ukwatina, 9 ukwatina, 12 ukwatina, 15 ukutinayo. So if you look closely, you are going to see kuti 15 ndiyo number inotanga kuappear kana taita list down the sets of the multiples of 3 and 5. Therefore the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5 is 15. Rupa bata. Okay, so imagine we had done this. Tanga chikona kukontinya panapa toti 21, 24, 27, 30, for example 33 tichingodaro and so forth. Mukacherechedza muchaona kuti 30 is also a common multiple, but it's not the lowest. So the lowest common multiple is the first common number appearing between the sets of the two numbers we are dealing with. It's making sense? Okay. But this method, though correct, it's tiresome. It's not efficient, especially when we are faced with a little bigger numbers. Tikavana manamba akati kurei. Take for instance, tikanzi question find the lowest common multiple of 15 and 25. Find the lowest common multiple of 15 and 25. Tikada kulista ma multiples are 15. Of course, chat 15, 30, 45. Then my multiples are 25, chat 25, 50, 75. I think you can already see kuti zvine basa izvi. Kuti tisvike pa the first common zvine basa. Saka as mathematicians, some professors say if you want to do mathematics you should be lazy. You always look for the quickest way to an answer. There were two primary methods which were developed to help us find the lowest common multiple without listing the multiples themselves. So I'm going to show you both methods. I'm going to ask you which one is safer for you. Then we are going to specialize on teaching that. So these methods go like this. This is my method 1, the most primary, the most total also. Inoting. We are going to take 15, then 25. We are going to express 15 and 25 as a product of its prime factors. Don't worry about the terminology. We are going to do factors very soon. In essence, tirikuti except 1, tirikuda kutsvaga number inopinda muna 15, preferably the smallest number inopinda muna 15. Saka we start with 3. 3 into 15 ndi 5. Kwa number inopinda muna 5, that will be 5. 5 into 5 ndi 1. We end there. And we go to 25. Okay, we go to 25. What is the smallest number inopinda muna 25? Which is not 1. Start with 5. 5 into 5, that's 5. 5 into 5 panapa, it's 1. Okay. Saka tada image. Takuchi nyora pasi kuti 15 iri equal to 3 times 5. And it tovatatichi 25 is equal to 5 times 5. To get the lowest common multiple, what we do is we want to represent each number. The lowest common multiple of 25 and 15 inenge iri equal to totanga tatarisa 3. I'm gonna 3 tonyora 3 pasi todati times. Then tona pano pana 5, but I'm gonna uti pa list ra 15 pana 5, pa list ra 25 pana 5. Saka this is common. 5 5 arikuwanikwa in both lists. Saka we take ma 5 aritwaya, we just represent them with 1 5. Then tozopedzisira ne 5 is na partner. Anyway, we write it down also like this. Saka tikati 5 times 5, for example, that's 25. 25 times 3 ndian 75 like that. Zvinenge zvatoita. Imwe nzira yamunogona kuita nayo panapa ndeiyi. Nzira yacho ndeyekuti munoti 15 is equal to 3 times 5, then 25 is equal to, instead of writing 5 times 5, munoti 5 squared. Say izvo. Then kana makuda kuziva the lowest common multiple, munotanga matora 3 akamira ega, mobva mati times, then moona pano apa kuti 5 uyu ari kuexista in both, like this are common. But kana iri lowest common multiple, lowest, you are going to take in at the highest power. Kureva kuti in our case, we are going to take 5 squared. Mapaona. So I said they are going to do this, or you convert this to a power, then ma 5 you just take in a power wombe, kana iri lowest. Muchaona patichaita highest common factor, would we take in a power dick in such a case. This is method number 1. We are going to expand upon this with questions. Method number 2. Method number 2, it's smarter. What you do is, instead of doing these things separately, you do them at once. 15, 25, like this. Kana iri lowest common multiple, you are going to deal with those numbers independently. So tinotanga tadila na 15. Then tadila na 15 tozonodila na 25. But tikasangana ni number inopinda into both 15 and 25, tinongo apply to both ka 1. What am I saying? Chatanga tadila na 15, the smallest number inopinda mna 15 di 3. 3 into 15 then di 5. But 25 arudzoka kadi akadaro. Because 3 hapindi mna 25 without leaving a remainder. And it then pana patoti tichiri kudhila na 15. Number inopinda mna 5 ndiani ndi 5. But manje coincidentally 5 yanopinda mna 5 achipinda futi mna 25, so we apply it to both. 5 into 5 ndi 1, 5 into 25 ndi 5. Saka the moment yatasvika pana 1 panapa zvoroti tapedza na 15, takuda uchidhilana na 25. But 25 tikunodhilana tichitangira pana 5 unowi, because 5 atombopinda kudhara. Tikati 5 into, hatichatoti 5 into 1, tetangoti 5 into 5 ndiani ndi 1. 1 uyu anoreva kuti 25 tapedza naye. Kuti muchiwana the lowest common multiple panapa, munenge maungo multiply these 3 numbers. 3 times 5 times 5. Mukatarisa munoti madzokera apa. Mapaona. Saka those are the 3 ways of dealing with the lowest common multiple. You have to see which one works best for you. Alright. Let us now do the highest common factor and we call it a day. Tomorrow we start with questions. The highest common factor. We can't understand what a highest common factor is without a working knowledge of what a factor is. Saka chinonzi factor, it's simply a number, kana kuti term, that perfectly divides into another number. Into another number. Kana chiti perfectly divides, we are simply saying dividing without leaving a remainder. Divides without leaving a remainder. So let us say we have the number 25. Two the factors of 36, for example. In mathematical notation, tinongoti f super subscript 36, like that. Saka f36 is equal to, chekutanga, we have what we refer to as a universal factor, and the universal factor is 1. Why is 1 a universal factor? Because 1 is factor every natural number. Hakuna number 1 yasingapindi mairi. Anditika? Like this. Universal factor. Then takutanga uchilista manamba anopinda muna 36 asingasiye remainder. Tina 2, tina 3. What about 4? Yes. Tina 4, 5 apinde, 6 anopinda, ko 7, 8, 9. 9 anopinda and 9, 18, 27, 36, 10, 11, 12. Got 12. Anopinda. Okay. Got 13, 14. 14 anopinda ere. 15 apinde. Ko 16 apinde anosoti 32. 17 apinde anoti 34. Ko 18 anopinda. Ende mukacherechedza muchaona kuti 18 ndiyo chi half ya 32. Saka natasvika pa half, the last factor ya Sarah is the number itself, 36. Like that. Saka awo ndo manamba ese anopinda muna 36 asingasiye remainder. How do you test kuti zvataita izvo ndizvo? To test this, tinoda iso. Tinotora namba yekutanga nenamba yekupedzisira, we multiply them, they should give us 36. Saka tikatora 1 na 36. 36 times 1 inotipa 36, that's correct. Tikatora 2 na 18. 18 times 2 inotipa futi 36. Tikatora 3 na 12. 2 for 6, yes. 12 times 3 inotipa futi 36. Tikatora 4 na 9. 9, 18, 27, 36. So tipa futi 36. Kukana tasarwa ne number 1 panapa. We just multiply that number by itself. 6 times 6 inotipa futi 36. Kana zvakadai sozorwa kuti list renyu iro riri exhaustive, you've written every number. Mapabata. Okay. So what happens now is, let us say kuti we also want to write the factors of 25. The factors of 25 are simply going to be universal factor 1, 2 apinde, ko 3 apinde, 4 apinde, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 apinde ka 11 apinde, 12 apinde, 13 apinde, 14, 15 chamba chienda totongogumira pa 25. Mukada kutesta futi panapa muchangoti 1 times 25 ndiani ndi 25 posara number 1 pakati. 5 times 5 ndiani futi 25. So that this is an exhaustive list. So tanyora kudai so much, we are then going to try to find the highest common factor of 36 and 25. Saka tiri kunyora ma lists aya. Factors of 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36, like that. Tonyora factors of 25, 1, 5, 25. Okay, monregirama examples andapa panapa, they are not really helpful pakudzidza, but maybe they are going to make sense. Saka tanyora malist aya, kana tichida highest common anditi common factor, zoroti tiri kukombea malist aya, totsvaga kana paine a factor iri common, and unfortunately factor iri common yedu panapa ndi 1. Saka example ya ina kunaka ayo, highest common factor yedu inge iri equal to 1. But the reason why tisingati tiri kuda the lowest common factor, in a way kuti the lowest common factor is always 1. Think about it, you see what I mean. the lowest common factor is always 1 because 1 ndo universal factor. Saka instead of kutsvaka chinhu chiri obvious tinongoti highest common factor. But then ndaiseta kuZIMSEC ndaisa question yakati find the lowest common factor. Ndoona hangu nyika yese ichikonewo, because I don't think people really think about these questions. Okay, let us do another example. Let us do 18 and 24. Rakatiite factors of 18, factors of 24. 1 pano, 2, 3, 4 apinde, 5 apinde, 6, then 7, 8, 9, then totishi 18 because 9 you have to tester 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. Yeah, makes sense. Kopana 24, 1, 2 anopinda, 3 anopinda, 4 anopinda, 6, 8, 12 ndio half, then 24, like that. Take note they are all whole numbers. Sometimes unowana number yekuti half yacho it's not a whole number. You are not going to account for that. An example would be factors of 9. It's simply 139. 3 has half ya 9. Half ya 9 is 4.5. But since it is 0.5 in a city per list, we only take whole numbers. Okay, saka pano manje tiri kuda chi highest common factor. Saka mukatarisa pa mafactors edu tiri kuda number wombesa iri common between the two iri factor. Saka 1 iri common zvayo but it's not the highest, 2 iri common but it's not the highest, 3 iri common but it's not the highest. What about 6? Tikatarisa 6 uyu tinoona kuti 6 pano pakuzoya 9 kuno hatina, 18 kuno hatina, kureva kuti the highest common factor is 6. This is now a more helpful example. Rupaona. Okay. Saka mathematicians also developed an easier way of going about this. There are also 2 primary methods. You can say there are 3. I'm going to show you of them. You pick your poison. By next lesson, I want you to be able to tell me which method you think is your best. Saka, what's happening pano is we are going to take 18 na 24, then we deal with them separately like this. Saka zvamunoita apa manje ndezvekuti the lowest number inopinda muna 18 ndi 2. 2 into 18 ndi 9. The lowest inopinda muna 9 ndi 3. 3 into 9 ndi 3. Then the lowest into 3 ndi 3. 3 into 3 ndi 1. Kwapera uko. 2 panapa into 24 ndi 12. 2 into 12 ndi 6. 2 into 6 ndi 3. 3 into 3 ndi 1. Zvapera. Toya pano tonyora 18 iri equal to 2 times 3 times 3. Tonyora futi 24 iri equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Like that. Saka zvatakuita apa manje takuchingoda zvinhu zviri common without existing in both sets. Sa 2 unoya ari common. Anditika? Kwa 3 tona futi kuti 3 unoyu ari kuendana na 3. Please zvima brackets zvimuzviise zvakakosha like this. Saka munogona kuti 2 ari common, 3 ari common. 3 unoyu haana chimwe chiri common kunoko. Saka kana tatoda iso tatopedza takutongoti therefore our highest common factor is equal to 2 tongo represent ne 1 number times 3 to represent ne 1, giving us 6. Mazwana, the same as this number 6. There's also another way of doing this muchishandisa mapower, but mapower ari oxymoronic somehow, paradoxical, pakuti kana iri highest common factor tinotora lowest power, kana iri lowest common multiple tinotora highest power. Saka kana muchichika kuzviconfuse zvinizvi, don't use this. There are no marks for bravery. Saka murikuti 18 is equal to, instead of saying 2 times 3 times 3, makuti 2 times 3 squared. because ma3 to multiply 24 panapa is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 saka 2 to the power 3 times 3 rupaona. Saka madai kuti tiwane the highest common factor tichaona kuti ma2 ari common, then tina 2 panapa na 2 cubed, highest tinotora lowest power kureva kuti tichangotora 2 chete times toona pano zvakare kuti ma 3 ari common totora lowest power 3 kureva kuti 2 times 3 ichatidzosera futi ku 6. Then panapa manje we have another method. Method ndeye kutora zvese ka 1. Then what you do is patanga chita lowest common multiple tanga chidila ne only one number at a time, but for highest common factor we deal with both numbers because factor tokutsvaga number inopinda, the highest number inopinda into both numbers. Saka at every instance tichange tichitsvaga number inopinda into both. Kureva kuti handichaisima aro aya ndanchiisa ndatanga nambodai so ndozodai, no, apa takudila everything at once. Saka tiri kuda a single number inopinda muna 18 na 24 ndi 2, anditi 2 into 18 ndi 9, 2 into 24 ndi 12, tana 9 na 12. A single number inopinda into both numbers ndi 3. 3 into 9 ndi 3, 3 into 12 ndi 4. Do we have a number inopinda into both 3 na 4? We do not have. Totogumira ipo pano kurota hatichadi kusvika kuna 1 zvatachita ku lowest common multiple. Kana tadai so takutongoti therefore lowest common multiple is equals to 2 times 3 which is 6. Saka imga master, it's the easiest, takes you direct to the answer. Chinozongonetsa vanhu choti they fail to remember sometimes kuti kuti mechanics dzacho zvakasiyana papi zvofamba sei, so most people opt to just use my traditional methods because they are more error proof. Saka now let us look at what we refer to as prime numbers. Saka kana chiti prime number tiri kungoreva a number with two factors, 1 and itself. Saka inumber ingori manumber 2 chete anopinda mairi, 1 and itself. Saka kana tikada kunyora a list of prime numbers, what do you think is the first prime number? Andika saka chakakosha kuziva kuti 1 is not a prime number, and they always ask about this. Let me write it in red and in bold. 1 is not a prime number. One is not a prime number. So totanga pa 2, 23, 4 are azi because 2 anopinda muna 4. 35, 6 are azi because 3 anopinda. 37, 8 are azi because 4 anopinda. Most people confuse. They think 9 is a prime number. 9 it's not because 3 anopinda. 10 it's not, 5 anopinda, 2 anopinda. We have 11, 12 it's not. We have 13, 14 it's not, 15 it's not, 16 it's not. We have 17, 18 it's not. We have 19, 20 it's not, and so forth. These are called prime numbers. But isusu manje we have something we then refer to as prime factors. So prime factors are simply factors which are prime numbers. And pane ma question anouya achiti express a number as a product of its prime factors. Tinozviita sei? Zvatanga tichiita kumusoro kunoko patachinyora manamba aya. Amugona 2 times 3 times 3 is equals to 18. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 is equals to 24. Ndiko kutoita express a number as a product of its prime factors, because 2 anopinda muna 18, so 2 is a factor to 18, but 2 itself is a prime number because it only has 2 factors, 1 in itself. Is it making sense? Saka this is what is happening pano. Saka we are expressing as numbers products of their prime vectors. Pese patanga tichita, you are going to see kuti this is a recurrence. Even tikatarisa patanga takushandisa this method ya panapa 15 tatoenyora as a product of its prime vectors, the same as 25, because 3 and 5 are both prime numbers. Saka this summarizes what we are going to be looking at for the rest of the week. Are there any questions? That's okay. So tomorrow we start with ZIMSEC questions. Take care.